It's 1-1 at Wembley. An awful mistake.
It's Saturday, it's 11 a.m. and it's time for the Sportlocker, presented by Ken Gadaffi with guests. Hear their predictions, check out their analysis, get your updates.
Oh, that's an awful back pass. And here's a chance for Luis Suarez.
Hello, I am Ken Gadaffi, the Oracle, and you are listening to the Sportlocker right here on Radio 1 FM 103.7.
Hello and a very warm welcome to you all for this Saturday edition of Sports Locker. I am Manjunath, standing in for Ken Gadaffi, who is now away in Rio with the Cambodian contingent, and he's likely to join us during this show. We have a packed locker for you today, and starting with the local roundup. The national football team did proud for itself, and they have at last overcome what has been Singapore Blues, and the team beat the Lions 2-1 in an exciting match on Thursday night, inspired by none other than Chan Watanaka. There were some injury concerns, but he was in the starting lineup. He scored the first goal, and then he set up the second for Thit Dina. So Cambodia beat Singapore after many frustrating results, 2-1. And then the Cambodian athletes arrived in Rio yesterday to a very cool climb they are not used to, but in the next few days they are going to adjust themselves, and the hot campaign for Cambodia begins with the medal hopes resting on Son Si-mei, who is the first Cambodian Olympic qualifier. Of course, she will be taking part in the Taekwondo competition, the under 67 kg category, and her competition dates are between August 17th and 20th. Of course, on the other local action, we had the CBL going. Team Respect scored a nice win over Pinoy Rhythm, and of course Smart Dragons were beaten for the third time, and then the ALLN Confucius Supermen are going great guns, and the National Junior Tennis is now underway at the National Training Center, and some of the top juniors who took part in the Junior Davis Cup competition are in the fray. And also on in the next few days is a game against Vietnam Swans. I'm talking about Aussie Roots football here. The Cambodian Eagles, having beaten Myanmar Cox the other day, are lining up against Vietnam Swans. And of course the MCL goes on with the top two in the standings, Bongket Angkor and the Ministry of National Defense taking the pitch. Bongket against Cambodian Tigers, and the army unit will face a very stern Phnom Penh Crown test. That's the local roundup for you. Of course, we will go into all this in detail a little later in the program.
Hello, I am Ken Gadaffi, the Oracle, and you are listening to the Sportlocker right here on Radio 1 FM 103.7.
Welcome back to Sports Locker, and thank you for joining us wherever you are. So, I have a surprise for you, Peter. Ken Gadaffi will be joining us soon from Rio. So, let's go over to Ken Gadaffi from Rio.
Hello.
Hello, Ken. How are you doing?
Yes, I'm fine, Madhu. I'm fine. And hello, Peter.
Yeah, it's good. What is the weather like, Ken? I heard that it is in the 10 to 11 degree frame, and how do you feel? Because Cambodians are not used to this kind of weather.
Well, it's okay right here. The weather is not good. It's not too hot. It's about 20 degrees in the afternoon, and right now in the night time, it's about 16, 17 degrees centigrade.
Okay, how was the travel? Because I guess it would have taken you more than 30 hours, including the transits in Bangkok and Dubai. How was the journey overall?
Yeah, it was quite hectic. Well, we left Phnom Penh on Thursday, and we arrived here on Friday, but it should be on Saturday in Phnom Penh. So it took us about 30 hours in total.
And how are the athletes doing, Ken?
Well, they are okay. They're so tired, and everyone is sleeping now. It's about 1:30 a.m. right here now in Rio, and all the athletes and officials are already sleeping.
Sorry to...
I mean, a long transit in yeah.
Sorry to keep you away from your bed, but I need to ask you a couple of questions about what's going on around you. The controversies, the multiple controversies.
Well, honestly speaking, we arrived here. The atmosphere is quite quiet. Not too much is really going on, but a lot of athletes and officials are beginning to arrive. Because our flight all the way from Dubai was filled to capacity with a lot of athletes and fans who are coming to watch the Olympics.
What is the latest on this Russian, I'm going back to the Soviet era, the Russian doping scandal?
Well, like I said, it's quiet, but I saw a lot of Russians here already. This evening we went for dinner in the dining room, and there were so many Russians around. So I think the IOC has allowed them to participate if they are clean. I think there will be some Russian participants here. So nothing is really going on to that effect yet, because, like I said, the athletes and officials are just all arriving.
I gather that the entire weightlifting team has been banned, and also some members of the canoeing team. And I also gather that most of the Soviet athletes are already in Rio. What is their fate now? Do they know that they are competing, or do they know that they are not?
Well, we do not get the figures yet, but like I said, they are already, some of them have been accredited, because if they are not competing, they will not be accredited, and they are already in the game village, they have their own apartment, they have their own location. It means they are passed through the sport entry, and definitely they will be participating.
And also tell us something about what happened in this torch relay. I believe there were protesters, and then there was some disruption of the torch relay. Do you know anything about that?
Well, we do not get the start yet, because, like I said, we just arrived here quite late, and before the DRS, the delegate registration, it took us almost about 4 or 5 hours before we got into our accommodation. So I've not been able to go around to see what exactly is happening on ground, because we got here, we actually arrived here around 2:30, and before we got into our apartment, it was already 9 p.m. So a lot of everybody tired, and everywhere is still dark. So hopefully by tomorrow I will be able to get more updates, and we will send it across accordingly. There
is so much of controversy about the apartments that have been built and also the facilities. Are you guys okay with your accommodation right now?
Well, the guest village is nice. It looks great. The rooms, it's typical of the Olympics to have such rooms and apartments. I think they meet to the required standards so far. Like I said earlier, everybody is so tired, and having been on the plane for over 20 hours, they just want to lay their head. So maybe by the time we wake up tomorrow morning and we look around, and we'll be able to see clearly, because this is going to be our home for the next 4 weeks.
And what is your sense of security around you? Are you happy with what you have learned or seen so far?
Yes. Well, that's something I must comment. Security-wise, it looks good. Right from the airport down to the game village, we saw pockets of security, police, and the army in their trucks, all standing at strategic position. And right here in the game village, they are also there. You can see physical presence of the security men and the forces.
And what about the rest of the facilities? Do you think Brazil will be ready for the opening ceremony? This is the first Olympics being staged in South America. There's so much of pride attached to it. So what's your sense of what's happening around you?
Well, Manju, like I said, as we drove all the way from the airport down to the games village, we passed through some of the game centers, and they look ready. They look like everything is set. Hopefully, by the time we wake up tomorrow morning, the coaches will be able to go and check at the training facilities and also look at the game venues, and then we'll see how ready they are. But I think definitely, it's still 1 week to the opening ceremony, and the launch has to be done, and definitely Brazil will be ready.
Ken, you really deserve some rest, and let's catch up again. And thanks for all these updates, and have a great kind of Olympics, and also take a stroll in the Copacabana beach when you're up and about in the morning tomorrow.
Yeah. Thank you, Manju. I keep on supporting, I keep on carrying on with the Sports Locker. Thank you. My regards to Peter and Vivi and Sophia Cantola and also part of the Radio 1 crew. I will be giving daily updates from RIO from time to time. So listeners to be started by Radio 1 FM 103.7. Take care and bye for now, Manju.
Okay, that was Ken Gadaffi, a bleary-eyed Ken Gadaffi at about 2 a.m. in the morning in Rio, Brazil, with the Cambodian contingent.
Tune into the Rush Hour from 4 till 7 p.m. weekdays, Monday to Friday, with me, Tina, for a great mix of music, song requests, traffic updates, pop culture news, only on Radio 1 FM 103.7, sponsored by Ensure Beer.
Hello, I am Ken Gadaffi, the Oracle, and you are listening to the Sports Locker right here on Radio 1 FM 103.7.